Now on Scottish Watches Unboxed, we have Bill from Case and Bezel with his anOrdain. Enjoy the video.
Hello everyone, this is Bill from Case and Bezel, and today I'm very excited to show you a watch that I have just received. It's a very special watch. It's special because it has come all the way from Scotland and it was made in Scotland, and because I'm Scottish, then of course that makes it special. There are a lot of unique features about this watch other than the fact it was made in Scotland. The dial in particular is marvellous. There's a lot of work and effort has gone into the making of this watch, and I was really impressed when I found out a little bit more about the company. I hadn't heard of the company. The company is called anOrdain. I was listening to a watch podcast and it was mentioned on the podcast as a Scottish company making watches, a new company, and I went online, had a look at their website and was really blown away by it, to be honest. I didn't fully appreciate that this type of activity was happening in Scotland, in Glasgow, and you know, the craftsmanship and the time and effort that was being put into the manufacturing of these watches was really impressive. I ordered the watch online. I got contacted straight away the following day asking me about the purchase. You know, was there anything in particular I wanted added to the watch, any engraving? The whole purchasing process was really smooth. It was a pleasure dealing with the guys at anOrdain. They kept me informed throughout the whole process. I say process because it takes about 6 weeks for them to actually make the watch. It's handmade and it's made to order. The watch arrived just the other day, and I'd like to show you the watch. I love it. I hope that that you enjoy the watch as well. So yeah, let's have a look at the watch. I didn't really know what to expect really in terms of the watch packaging and how it would look when it arrived. I bought the watch online and I hadn't seen, you know, any other images of how it was packaged or how it would come. The watch arrived. It was in a grey box, as you can see, and opened the box and was, you know, really pleasantly surprised when I saw the actual the way it was packaged. It was beautifully packaged, and there was a lovely leather carrying case that I didn't expect, which was a nice touch, and it came in a very well presented box. I had to pick a strap when I ordered online, and yeah, it came with another strap in addition to the one I picked, which was really appreciated actually, because I didn't really know which strap to go for, and I had a few that were, they all looked very nice actually, but you know, getting an extra one was not expected, and it was a very nice gesture actually by the company. So yeah, as I said, comes in a lovely green pouch, carrying pouch inside. It's branded with anOrdain, and you know, the watch was inside. You know, the watch itself is very impressive. You know, the dial is a marvel actually, and you know, there's a lot of key sort of features about the watch that are pretty impressive. I mean, if I just run through the basics right now, the case, it's quite petite, I would say. I say that because I'm used to wearing watches that are maybe a little bit bigger than this. The case diameter is 38 millimeters, which is you know, will fit most people, I would say. I find it a little bit small. It looks a bit small in my wrist, but that's only because I usually wear watches that are much bigger than that. The lug to lug length is 46 millimeters. The depth's 11 millimeters, so it's not a huge watch. The case is polished to a mirror finish, and on the back it's actually it's a brushed case back. I had my case back engraved with the map of Scotland. You might not be able to see it clearly in the video, but I certainly will post a picture on the video there so you can see the case back engraving. Another really nice touch to the watch, and yeah, the strap is 18 millimeters wide. That's quite narrow for me. My watches and the straps that I normally wear are usually a bit wider than that. So again, when I wear the watch, I feel like it's quite small, and the strap is quite narrow, but it certainly is the right size for the watch. I mean, it goes very well with the watch itself. The dial itself is really the star of the show. It's a vitreous enamel dial, which is on a copper disc. I'll touch on that in a second. The movement it's a Swiss movement, Sellita SW200. It's automatic. It has Inca block shock protection. So the movement's pretty standard. The glass is sapphire. It's anti-reflective. The hands as well are pretty special. They're steel. They are individually thermally treated, and the watch is also waterproof to 5 ATM. So yeah, that's the kind of basic features of the watch. There was a couple of things really for me that drew me to this watch. Firstly, it was made in Scotland. That was obviously a key thing for me. The dial and the work on the dial, the enamel dial, is amazing. Actually, it's written on the dial. You can see vitreous enamel. Vitreous, or I think it's sometimes also called Grand Feu enamel, refers to it's actually the process of fusing glass to metal using heat. And what they do is they put a layer of powdered glass onto a copper disc, and it doesn't have to be copper. Sometimes it's silver or gold. In this case, it's copper, and they fire it in a kiln, very hot, 800 degrees or more than 800 degrees, and then they repeat this process over and over again until they get the correct depth on the dial, and then they have a final firing, and it's finished with a high sheen finish. And once the dial is enameled, then they print the dial. They're pad printed in house in Scotland, with laser engraved ceramic plates, and they use an epoxy resin ink, which is the same type of ink that they use on Scottish whisky bottles, which is another, a nice touch, considering the heritage of the company. The numerals on the watch and the typeface is unique to the watch. It's designed in house as well. They drew inspiration from old ordnance survey maps of Scotland, and that's also where they got the inspiration for you can see that they've used classic syringe style hands, which have borrowed elements from vintage compass needles, and that complements the typography, but with it being from an ordnance map, or inspired from ordnance map. The hands are inspired from vintage compass needles, so the whole thing hangs together. It's very well done. The hands are thermally blued, so they end up a dark greyish colour. The straps are very high quality. They're manufactured in Germany. They actually come with a buckle. I like my leather straps to come on some kind of deployant, so I've added a stainless steel polished deployant, which is just what I prefer. But the buckles are actually very, very nice as well. I just prefer a deployant, so I've added a deployant to this particular watch. So I've popped the watch on, and this is what the watch looks like on the wrist. Very, very nice. There are lots of strap options. They were difficult to choose, and I think it would look good on a mesh bracelet as well, which is an option that they offer when you buy the watch too. So lots of strap options. So yeah, I love the watch. I think that the fact it's made in Scotland, you know, that obviously is special for me, being Scottish, but actually the real star is the dial, as I've mentioned. The dial is amazing. The work that goes into the dial is quite remarkable, actually, and you know, it's not an easy process. Lots of things can go wrong, and therefore it's quite time consuming. So when you have the finished article that's perfect, it makes it even more special. I think the guys at anOrdain are doing a fantastic job. I hope they continue to do that. I will certainly continue to support them. They have this watch is the Model 1. They also have a Model 2, which is slightly smaller, so it's probably not for me, but they are obviously expanding their line, and you know, hopefully people will get behind anOrdain and support them, and they go from strength to strength. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. There's a like button below that you can click on. You can contact me on the YouTube channel. You can visit my website, www.caseandbezel.com. You can contact me through that, or you can email me at bill@caseandbezel. So lots of ways to get in touch. I'd love to hear from you, and bye for now.